Welcome to Ballarat Health Services information session for the registered nurse for the graduate transition year. I'm opening with a photo of sunrise over the rowing course at Ballarat's Lake Wendouree. The photo is from the Olympic Rings, and for interest, the 1956 Olympic Games were held here. My name is Marilyn Kearney and I coordinate the graduate nurses at Ballarat Health Services. As I begin this session, firstly, I respectfully acknowledge the history, culture and value of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders and pay respect to their elders past and present, as well as acknowledging the future generations. This information session will cover details of Ballarat Health Services, the graduate transition year, in which I'll talk about streams in the program aims, intakes, structure, satisfactory completion, support teams, employment, collaborative affiliations, future employment here, dates for 2020. I'd like to talk about Ballarat as a city, the application process that's required, and also perhaps some questions that you might be thinking that you may want answered. When deciding on a graduate year, your question is going to be, what features do I want? That will be your question. So, let's look at Ballarat Health Services. So Ballarat Health Services is the principal referral centre for Grampians region. The Grampians region is quite large, as you can see from the map. We have 4.4% of the Victorians' population there, with 224,000 plus people. It extends from Bacchus Marsh to the South Australian border, which you can see is a really large area that Ballarat Health Services actually has to cover. So Ballarat Health Services is a regional hospital with various sites and has approximately 230 acute beds, 70 subacute beds, 65 mental health beds and 480 residential beds. It's been conducting nurse education continuously since 1888, so we're actually celebrating 132 years this year. We are the only hospital in Australia that has had continuous nurse education. The first graduate program was conducted in 1987 and has continued every year ever since. Features of the graduate transition year I'll now outline for you. So, there are several streams available in the graduate transition year. We've got the Bachelor of Nursing, which the biggest percentage of people actually apply to. We actually have a double degree nursing midwifery. We've got the double degree nursing and paramedicine. We have the Care of the Older Persons program. We have collaborative programs, which we have different health services who apply to come across to Ballarat Health Services with. And we have the mental health program, which you can do through the general nurse program, or you can actually do that full time. So with those involved in the clinical placement for graduates, the aims of this program is to actually offer support and guidance to the beginning practitioners, to develop confidence and clinical competence, to develop skills of the multifaceted professional role of the graduate nurse, provide realistic learning experiences that consolidate a lot of your professional and personal development. There are two intakes annually, the January and the February intake. We have approximately 50 participants, and these are divided into two different streams which are available, and the duration of the program is for 52 weeks. The structure of the program has got a theoretical component and a clinical component. So within the theoretical component, we have 5-day study days in a study block at the very beginning. We have 5 days throughout the year. There's also extra study days provided for those people who are actually doing the double degree midwifery program, the COOPS program and the paramedicine program. Now within the clinical component, these are varied as well. So some areas as a graduate you will do 3 or 4 clinical rotations. So depending on the stream that you're in, if you're in the general stream, you would probably only do, well, perhaps 3 or 4 clinical rotations, but you will have one clinical area preference that we would actually establish at your interview. The midwifery double degree program, they are set rotations. So the rotations through there will be antenatal clinic, postnatal clinic, birthing suite, special care nursery, dom care and a surgical area. So within the COOPS program, We actually have set rotations as well, but consideration will occur with your preference of a clinical area that you would like to go to within the design of that program. There is an acute placement in the Care of the Older Persons program. The interprofessional graduate program for nursing and paramedics, they are set rotations in which you would go to ED, ICU, an acute surgical placement, and naturally you would actually go to your AV placements as well. With the mental health program in the general nursing stream, you would actually have a placement in adult acute unit. Other than that, you would be in the general wards throughout Ballarat Health Services. So I'd like to mention some information regarding the Care of the Older Person program. The aims of this program is to provide a positive workforce culture, to engage early practitioners in practices that are contemporary, understand that older persons are in the majority of the clinical environments, so no matter where you go, you will find there will be an older person, and challenge the stigma associated with working with the older person. So we are also affiliated with Australian Catholic University, and the units that you actually complete in the graduate year are credited academic units, and you gain credits towards gaining a certificate of clinical nursing in gerontology. So regarding the mental health full-time program at Ballarat Health Services, this program is actually independent to the graduate transition year. It's possibly not advertised through Computer Match and is advertised about August on the BHS website. It usually has about 4 to 6 positions, and for this program you would need to contact Paula Duffy, who is the Manager of Education in Mental Health. For satisfactory completion of the graduate year, the graduate would need to attend and participate at all the professional development days, complete clinical performance and development reviews to all the clinical areas that you actually go to. You need to complete all the mandatory skills that are required at Ballarat Health Services, like doing your BLS and your Safe Patient Manual Handling and Mobility program. You would need to do the organisational specific self-directed learning. MOCA training is also needed. You would need to present an NSQHS standard project or a case study presentation, and also you would need to do some reflective practice and journal article reviews. The employment for the graduate transition year is at a 0.84 EFT, which gives you 8 days per fortnight working. You have the ability to work up to full-time hours, but we find that a lot of nurses choose that they would rather have a work-life balance rather than actually working full-time. So we actually offer a 2-year contract for graduates when they apply. So you're contracted for the duration of the program, which is the first 52 weeks, and then you have another year to complete that 2-year contract. The 2-year contract's not compulsory for you to actually go into, but the extra year is actually at a variable EFT and not set at the 8 days per fortnight. Part of the employment in the graduate year is also you have paid professional development days in the program, and you also have annual leave at each clinical rotation. Support offered to the participants in the graduate transition year, we actually have a graduate support team. So part of the team, we have the coordinator, we have dedicated clinical support nurses for the graduates only, we have preceptors and mentors, and we have many clinical teachers and educators throughout all the areas of Ballarat Health Services. So Ballarat Health Services has established collaborative affiliations throughout the region supporting the rural areas. Graduates are involved from many different places as are listed. So we've got Central Highlands, Daylesford, Beaufort and Skipton, Djirriwa in Bacchus Marsh, Ambulance Victoria of course for the interprofessional graduate program, Rural Northwest in Warwick Nabil, the West Wimmera in Nil, Maryborough and District Health Service, and East Wimmera Health Service, Sanarned. Many applicants ask about their future employment. For BHS statistics, we have an 88% plus retention rate, and we've had that over the last 13 years of the graduate program. A big percentage of graduates accept an extra year contract to consolidate the graduate year, so they actually stay at Ballarat Health Services. Ballarat Health Services also conducts postgraduate programs, so a lot of graduates move on from their graduate year to their consolidation year and participate in the postgraduate programs offered. So you might want to do perioperative, emergency, critical care, paediatrics or oncology, and they're all offered throughout Ballarat Health Services. Some important dates that you might want to put in your diary. We have the Computer Match website opens in early June. We have the Computer Match and hospital application process in mid-July. From July to September, you will find that hospitals will do their interview process. Ballarat always interviews in early August. In early September, you have a time when you'll have withdrawal or reordering of your preferences through Computer Match. And naturally, early October is when the Computer Match results are released at approximately 10 o'clock in the morning, and you go in via your login. Ballarat City. So what does Ballarat City have to offer you for your choice of coming to Ballarat for a graduate transition year? So where is Ballarat situated? It's part of the land of the traditional custodianship of the Wathaurong people. It's situated in Central Highlands region of Victoria. It's 110 kilometres northwest of Melbourne, which is Victoria's state capital. It's located in Western Victoria, 450 metres above sea level, one of Australia's largest inland cities. It's the third largest city in Victoria, and our population growth is currently at 117,000, and the growth rate is sitting on 4.1%. So the Ballarat township started in 1852, and we can see there's a lot of history involved in Ballarat. So Ballarat now looks like that. A lot of people are not aware of actually where Ballarat is on the map. So you can see from the map there that between Ballarat and Melbourne, we are fairly close to a lot of coastlines for those people who like to go and capture the sea. This photo is a photo of the George Hotel in Lydiard Street. So from the history of Ballarat in 1880, it was originally called Ballarat. The Aboriginal dialect for Ballarat was resting or camping place. Gold was discovered in the 1850s, and there was a huge influx of diggers that actually came to town. So we were actually proclaimed a town in 1852, and we became a city in 1871. So you can see there the George Hotel from the 1850s and then the George Hotel today. So part of Lydiard Street, which is very popular. Craig's Hotel as well is in Lydiard Street, so you can see the 1880s, and it's still there in the year 2000. It is a very popular street because it's sought after by several Hollywood people, and lots of movies have been made in Ballarat using Lydiard Street. So we have lots of attractions in Ballarat. We have that golden past, we have stunning architecture here, we have wide streets, we have magnificent statuary collections, and we have a rich history of tourist attractions for people to actually come to. So one of the most significant events in the evolution of Australian democracy occurred in Ballarat, and that was the Eureka Rebellion. So one of Victoria's most popular tourist destinations is the Eureka Centre. So a lot of people will actually go to the Eureka Centre. The Arch of Victory and the Avenue of Honour has been here since just after World War I. It is the longest Avenue of Honour within the Southern Hemisphere, and within that avenue we have 3,912 trees planted, which represents soldiers from the Ballarat area and nurses who were involved in World War I. So Ballarat has our beautiful Lake Wendouree. So within the Botanical Gardens of Ballarat, it is 6 kilometres surrounding the track. It's very popular for people who want to go running, cycling, walking, do picnics, have children in the playgrounds, walking the dog, fishing, our paddle steamer, and of course, the rowing championships are held at Lake Wendouree. We have many local restaurants in Ballarat as well. There is 95 restaurants in town, so there's a lot of places that you can actually go to dine out should you choose Ballarat as a place that you would like to work. Ballarat awards for best dining, and they are listed on the Australian Good Food and Travel Guide. And of course we have 4 distinct seasons in Ballarat, and you will often find that summer, autumn, winter and spring will occur on the same day. So we have a lot of entertainment in Ballarat as well, so the local nightlife, and it's very huge, the local nightlife around Ballarat. And as I say, in my era, when we went out to the disco, which doesn't exist now, but there are lots of nightlife places to go to. We also have Her Majesty's Theatre, which is a great arts attraction to go to. We've got many wine bars throughout Ballarat, so you can see there by the pictures we have, the bottom one is Mitchell Harris Cellar Door, which we can go to when we're not at work. We can't neglect mentioning the Ballarat Beer Festival, so that occurs every year. It's a very popular place to go to. It's in January in Ballarat, and it's party, party, party. Okay, so the application process for the graduate transition year. One important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. So a great quote from Arthur Ashe, being prepared is really important. So what is actually requested for Ballarat Health Services? You need to register on Nursing Computer Match, and there is the website that you need to go to. You need to put direct applications to Ballarat Health Services, and that's how you will find that on the Ballarat Health Services website by going into careers and then go into the job type. You'll then need to upload your letter of application, your curriculum vitae, which needs to outline 2 professional referees. You would need to have your academic records, which will be your first, second and mid-year, third year and fourth year reports, and a passport size photo. You will also need to follow that with a hard copy of all the documents. So the things that we have just mentioned, your letter of application, curriculum vitae, academic records, your passport size photo, plus you need your clinical appraisals, the interim and final summaries only. So we only want a few pages out of those documents for your first, second, third and fourth years, and they are actually to be sent or delivered to the Coordinator of Graduate Nurses. You will also have requested some documents for our HR department, and this you will need to have with you at the interview time. So your Fit to Work police history check, which will include 100 points ID, BHS Health and Capacity Declaration. You will need a statutory declaration of the Commonwealth of Australia, which is a particular form, immunisation records and a Working with Children check. Now all these you need to just have ready for your interview time. A lot of people would ask how many applications we actually receive at Ballarat Health Services. So it is in excess of 300 applications a year. The applications come from far and wide, so Australia-wide and New Zealand, where the applications come from. Applicants must be registered via Computer Match, and we will actually interview approximately 120 applicants. The interview process that we actually conduct here is, first of all, a speed questioning type system. We have a problem-solving activity and we do individual 5-minute presentations. The interview time will take approximately 3 to 3.5 hours when we actually do this process. With all this information, I hope that you will have your eyes wide open about Ballarat and the Ballarat Health Services graduate transition year, because all your dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Should you have any further questions that you would like to ask regarding this presentation, you can email the address that is listed or telephone the telephone number to have your questions answered. Best wishes for your future, and I hope you enjoy your application process. Thank you.